The release of BT14 Blast ACE is set to shake up the Digimon TCG, ushering in an era of new mechanics and refreshing card design. And yet, Bandai snuck a BT9 deck into this set, and it's one with absolutely disgusting OTK potential. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that FenriLoogamon is a name we are all going to become very familiar with, if not one that we're all going to learn to outright fear. Personally, I don't know what it is about X-Antibody Digimon, but Bandai loves to print absolutely overpowered decks for them. And FenriLoogamon is no different. And in the spirit of X-Record's worst atrocities, FenriLoogamon gives us a largely non-interactable strategy that functions more as a ticking time bomb for the opponent than anything else. But, you know, at least they didn't give it protection. Still, as early as the Digitama, we get a sense for how strong the deck is going to be. Balmon's Inheritable allows its stack to digivolve into a Dark Animal or SOC Digimon when that card is trashed from hand. Now, this is not once per turn, but at the very least it's not free, because, you know, balance. That said, with the way your boss monster works, worrying about paying that cost and potentially passing turn, well, might not be something you have to sweat after all. On to the rookies, and of course we run for Loogamon. This good boy allows you to tuck an Eiji from your hand or trash into its sources at the start of the main phase to gain a memory, which, yeah, is always nice for facilitating big combo plays. And his Inheritable nets you a memory once per turn when you play a Dark Animal or SOC card. So yeah, really strong rookie. You can see why it's an SR. Now, since the Loogamon line is quite thin at the moment, we have to supplement our rookies with 4 BT9 Drachmon. On play, it searches for an undead or dark animal Digimon and lets you trash one from among the cards revealed, which is really nice for setup. And its Inheritable lets you digivolve into an undead or dark animal Digimon from the trash when attacking by paying the cost, which again is pretty nifty for climbing up. And then I run 2 starter deck Phascomons because it's a dark animal, because traits matter here, and it has blocker. Simple as, and you know, if you guys are only running 8 rookies, I respect your bravery. I personally think that's a little bit nuts. On to the champions, and we've got a slightly bigger doggo in Lugarmon, or Lugermon, however you want to pronounce it. Either way, when he attacks, you can draw 1 and trash 1, potentially triggering Balmon's Inheritable, and if Eiji is in your sources, you gain a memory to boot. And he has the same Inheritable as Loogamon, which keeps you very memory efficient. We back Lugarmon up with 4 of the new Fangmon. On play, or when attacking, you can recur a dark animal from your trash to your hand, and then trash a card from your hand. It basically helps you make do with your very limited copies of the Loogamon line, and it will proc Balmon's Inheritable in a pinch, which is something to keep in mind. And then we run 2 copies of Black Gatomon because, well, she's a dark animal, again, that trait matters, and she has Rush, which is going to help us close out the game alongside our big scary boss monster. Onto the ultimates, and we basically have 2 paths that Lugarmon can take. Soul Lugarmon is basically your OTK combo starter. When digivolving, you summon a level 3 or lower SOC or dark animal from the trash, and you can summon a level 4 instead if Eiji is in its sources. Then, when attacking, you can trash a card in your hand to just gain a memory. Finally, its Inheritable allows you to unsuspend once per turn when a dark animal or SOC card is played. So note here that your perfect stack basically makes this a 1-cost Evo, and you're gonna go memory neutral if you swing with it. So, you know, as far as cards go, this guy alone is pretty broken. And then there's hellish, which is basically a walking Gaia Force meets Eismon Scatter Mode. At the end of the turn, it has a mandatory effect to delete itself, draw 2 cards, and then fetch back a Loogamon from the trash. Why is that good? Aside from drawing and, you know, recurring your main rookie, well, it has an on-deletion effect to pop a level 3. But you can also trash up to 3 dark animals or SOCs to add 1 to the level you can delete for each card trashed. Basically, you can roast level 6s with this, and honestly, it is not out of the question to just slam this sometimes like it's an actual kill spell. And now we reach the deck's boss monster and soul level 6, FenriLoogamon. When digivolving, you can play one level 4 or lower dark animal or SOC Digimon from the trash. And if Eiji is in the stack, you can play 2 additional targets. Then there's its when attacking skill, which lets you delete your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon in order to unsuspend. And for each of your Digimon in play, you can raise the target level by 1. And the last of its main effects is just insult on top of injury, with your turn only ending when the memory gauge reaches 3 or more on the opponent's side. I don't think I need to tell you how insane this deck's boss monster is, just on its own without all of the excellent support. Alongside SoulLoogamon, you basically swing 3 times, which is already bonkers, and you potentially put a ton of Black Godomons on board to rush in and finish the job. But things will get even crazier in a second. Trust me, we just very quickly have to talk about the lone copy of Death Xmon because, you know, the card never hurts, and BT14 in particular is looking like a format that's gonna go wide. Also, this is a purple deck, so your access to this particular walking nuke is gonna be a little better than in most decks. Now then, the card that really makes FenriLoogamon cracked is its companion tamer, Eiji Nagasaki. At the start of your turn, if the opponent has a Digimon in play, you gain 1 memory. Simple as. Then, during your main phase, you can mind link it to one of your Dark Animal or SOC Digimon, which places Eiji as their bottom Digivolution source. As a source, Eiji gives Alliance and Blocker, which is what enables FenriLoogamon to swing for 2 damage multiple times with all of the bodies it just summoned to the board acting as the suspend fodder for Alliance. And finally, Eiji can disengage the Mind Link at the end of either player's turn, allowing him to just zip out from the sources. This is like a hybrid tamer on steroids, and yes, you really need to see this card as soon as possible in order to pop off and absolutely ruin your opponent's day. Accompanying Eiji is a full suite of Analog Youth, one of my favorite cards in the game. Why? Well, it's a 2-cost searcher for any Digimon, it fills up your trash, in this case with SOCs and Dark Animals, and it lets you gain a memory and hatch a Digi-Egg when your level 5s and above with sources are deleted. It does everything the deck wants, and in particular, it allows for some disgusting turn extensions with hellish. Basically, you pop the Fiery Doggo to erase an enemy Digimon, then Analog Youth steals back the turn and allows you to evolve over the fresh egg you just hatched with the Loogamon that you just recurred off of hellish effect. This basically prevents you from taking that turn off when your main stack is outed and you have nothing in the back, which basically means that you can just keep pressing the gas and probably OTK your opponent on the following turn. As for the rest of the list, I like 4 missed memory boosts alongside 4 wisdom training. These both allow you to extend your turns and allow you to get through your deck faster in order to set up your winning play. And I like Miss Memory Boost in particular because you need to get Black Godomons into the trash above all else to really make the OTK stick. Finally, I run 1 copy of Calling from the Darkness because of course you do in a purple deck. Especially one where your main line is barely there, and yeah, you have to do a bit of indiscriminate trashing in order to really get set up. And that's the deck. As you can tell, it's really heavy on the setup. Basically, you spam memory boosts, wisdom training, and analog youths until your hand and trash are set up, and you have enough resources banked to really make a big push. On occasion, you go into hellish to control the board, but for the most part, you just assemble your pieces, promote, and then maul your opponent. Okay guys, so I think it's fair to say that BT9 is back with a vengeance, which is really odd considering the fact that BT14 is supposed to be like a soft reset for the game. But, you know, at the very least, FenriLoogamon is not as outright insane as some of its X-Antibody compatriots. Sure, it'll OTK you sometimes, and yeah, some of those games are gonna feel like you weren't really playing at all, but to be fair, it does take a little bit of skill for the FenriLoogamon player to get there, and, you know, the doggo doesn't have protection, so stack up on your security bombs, I guess. Anyway guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you all in the next one, and until then, peace.